boys, welcome back. What is going on? Nick and I took the Blue Starlet down to the drags the other weekend. I just want to run through a couple of things first of what we did before we took it to the drags. Now, as you know, we've had some serious traction issues with the Blue car. Gets a massive launch. Rear squatting, flying down the track, front wheels are spinning, I'm holding on, praying, car just wants to go wherever it wants to, and you literally have to hold on with two hands or else the car's going to end up in a wall. So a bit of brainstorming, we come up with an idea. We put another trigger disc and a cherry sensor on the rear engine, and we ran those wires up to the Haltech, which runs the front engine. So now the Haltech has an RPM signal from front engine, and it also has an RPM signal from the rear. We've done a table in the ECU, so quite simply, if the Haltech picks up that the front RPM is a lot more than the rear, it's telling us we've got front wheel spin, so it pulls out timing and boost. What that does now is it keeps the front wheels, the front tyres right on their toes with as much grip as possible. If anything, any time it starts to slip up, it's just going to pull that timing and boost. Now, when we went to the drags, that's made an absolute incredible difference to the way the car drives. Not only did we do that, before the drags I pulled the shock absorbers apart and there's a little rubber bump stop on each side. They're actually sitting right at the top, so that's telling me that on a full launch the car's squatting so hard that the shock absorber is actually bottoming out and then causing the car to hop. Not only that, I didn't do a very good job setting up the suspension geometry 9 years ago, so it has a bit of bump steer. To combat that, I went and put a bump stop in the rear of the shock absorbers. So instead of the bump stop being about 20 mil, it's about 75 mil now. So while the car's actually sitting on the ground, if you put your hand up under the guard, the top of the shock absorber is already sitting on the bump stop. You still have a little bit of suspension go there. They are coilovers, so it's rough as guts as it is. But now when we do the launch, the rear moves, be lucky to move 10 millimeters, and this is also now keeping a lot more weight on the front of the car, not giving us that weight transfer, and then the front just brakes out and wheel spin. So we entered the drags.
So we've got the launch control, only works above like 80% throttle, so we can still do a burnout in the front wheel. Haven't tried it yet. So
lined up, did a terrible burnout.
That's good. Didn't get on the two-step, doing the burnout, so we're off to a good start.
The launch wasn't too bad, and then gone to rip second gear, synchro, bit sticky, make a bit of noise. Third, fourth, still around 140 miles an hour. Car felt unbelievable. Car went that straight, I'd be comfortable now to put a couple of 100 more horsepower in there if we need to. We went out round two, we only got 2 passes for the night, so we went out in the round 2. Launch wasn't that great as well, it was 1.6 seconds, 60 foot. Now when I'm fanging in first, I've gone to rip second. This all happened so quick I didn't even realise what had happened. Gone to hit the clutch, and as I've gone to pull it in, the front engine's just revving off its tits, 8,500, and I'm trying to grind it into gear. Anyway, got into second, ran third and fourth out, away we went. So because of that, I've actually cooked the synchro in that front gearbox, and we need to at least pull it apart or do something about it. Now in this car, I'm actually running 2 of the 4AGE short ratio C52 boxes, which as everyone knows, they're rare as hen's teeth. I'm at the top of 4th gear going over the line around 143 mile an hour, and literally I'm ready to go up into 5th. 5 gear changes at the drags is a pain. Not to mention the first gear is so short that I'm not even at the 60 foot mark and I'm already going into the next gear. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go back to 2 standard C52 boxes. 1, if I break them, they're pretty cheap to get. And 2, having a lot more longer gears means less gear changes and less things for me to worry about. So I've already got one C52 with the welded diff all put back together, ready to go. I've just got to get the other one apart, weld the diff center, put it all back together. And it's only going to take Nick and I a couple of hours to pull these boxes out and swap them over, and we'll be back on the road pretty quick. Anyway guys, I just wanted to give you an update of where we're at. Although I've stuffed one of the gearboxes, having the car drive in a straight line and feel really stable, to me that's 50 steps ahead. It's what I've been trying to aim for the last 9 years. But damaging the gearbox, we're a couple of steps back. But overall, I'm really happy with where the car's at now. Also, don't forget, Cam and I have opened our new online shop. We've got coils, the coil plugs, 4-into-1 collectors, 6-into-1 collectors, intake aluminium flanges, exhaust manifold flanges. There's a whole bunch of gear on there, so go and check that out. We're only shipping in Australia at the moment, and we're hoping to add some merchandise to that soon. So anyway guys, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.